Hey there, have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like you're losing touch with reality, wondering if you really said that, or if you're just overthinking? You're not alone. Today, we'll uncover 5 surprising ways gaslighters manipulate your mind and reveal the dark psychology behind their tactics. Gaslighting isn't just a buzzword, it's one of the most subtle yet harmful forms of manipulation, thriving on confusion. Whether it's a friend twisting your words, a partner making you doubt your emotions, or a coworker undermining your confidence, gaslighting can turn your own mind into unfamiliar ground. But here's the thing. No one should have to live in that fog of self-doubt. Breaking free from a gaslighter's grip doesn't need a psychology degree or years of therapy. It begins with recognizing their tactics and understanding the subtle ways they try to control your thoughts. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to spot their manipulation and protect your mental clarity, inspired by timeless Stoic wisdom. Before we dive in, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss more ways to improve your emotional control. Now, if you're ready to reclaim your power and see through their games, let's get started. Rewriting the narrative, the subtle art of making you forget. Imagine a book you've read from cover to cover, a story you know inside and out. Now picture someone sneaking in, tearing out pages, rearranging chapters, and scribbling over crucial scenes. By the time you pick it up again, it's almost unrecognizable. But the thief insists it's always been this way. This is how a gaslighter rewrites your narrative, not with a pen, but through persistent, calculated manipulation of your memory and reality. When gaslighters rewrite the past, it's not always loud or obvious. They don't scream you're wrong. Instead, they plant small seeds of doubt. A conversation you're sure happened one way is completely reframed. That's not what I said, or worse, you're remembering it all wrong. At first, these comments may seem insignificant. After all, no one remembers everything perfectly, right? But over time, the constant denial of your reality erodes your confidence in your own memory. You start questioning what you saw, heard, or even felt. The gaslighter's goal is to become the gatekeeper of your reality. This tactic works because memory is naturally fragile. Psychologists call it memory distortion, the brain's tendency to fill in gaps with external suggestions. Gaslighters prey on this vulnerability, weaving their version of events so convincingly that you start doubting your own. It's like they've hacked your internal compass, leaving you spinning in circles, dependent on them to guide you. Each rewritten story chips away at your trust in yourself. You may replay conversations obsessively, questioning if you misunderstood or overreacted. Maybe you even apologize for things you didn't do just to keep the peace. This is how gaslighting slowly dismantles your sense of self. How do you fight back? It starts with anchoring yourself to the truth. Keep a journal, not just for events, but for your feelings. Write down conversations, decisions, and key moments as they happen. Over time, this becomes your lighthouse in the fog of manipulation. When doubts arise, you'll have concrete evidence to ground yourself. But anchoring yourself isn't just about keeping records. It's also about reconnecting with your instincts. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, taught that clarity comes from within. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is." It's also helpful to surround yourself with people who validate your reality. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, where your feelings and perceptions are acknowledged, not erased. The stronger your foundation of support, the less likely a gaslighter can succeed in pulling the rug out from under you. Weaponizing empathy, turning your compassion against you. Empathy is one of humanity's greatest strengths, a bridge that connects us and allows us to understand and support one another. But in the hands of a gaslighter, your empathy becomes a weapon aimed directly at your peace of mind. They twist your kindness and your willingness to see the best in people into a trap. Suddenly, your compassion feels like a leash, keeping you tethered to someone who manipulates your emotions for their own gain. Gaslighters are skilled at spotting compassionate people. They know you'll second-guess your frustration and hesitate before confronting them because you want to understand where they're coming from. So, they create scenarios that exploit this tendency. They might cry crocodile tears and play the victim, or say something like, "You're so sensitive. I thought you'd understand me better." This subtle jab shifts the focus away from their harmful actions and onto your supposed shortcomings. Here's where it gets dangerous. Your empathy makes you justify their behavior. You might think, maybe they're acting this way because they're stressed. They didn't mean to hurt me, they're just going through a lot. While understanding someone's struggles is a beautiful trait, gaslighters use it to excuse their actions entirely. You end up carrying their emotional baggage while they move through life unburdened, manipulating you into believing it's your responsibility to fix things. To break free from this trap, start by recognizing that empathy doesn't mean enabling. Marcus Aurelius also said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Tolerance doesn't mean allowing someone to mistreat you. It means understanding their struggles without letting them cross your boundaries. Practice compassionate detachment. It means caring in a way that protects your emotional health. If someone's behavior is hurtful, acknowledge their struggles, but hold them accountable. You can say, "I understand you're going through a tough time, but that doesn't excuse how you treated me." Also, pay attention to patterns. Gaslighters thrive when you forgive isolated lapses, but patterns don't lie. Ask yourself, am I constantly excusing the same behavior? Reflect on whether your compassion is being returned or exploited. Build a circle of trust outside the gaslighter's influence where people value you for who you are, not for what you give. The confidence thief, undermining your belief in yourself. Confidence is the foundation of a resilient mind. It helps you stand firm in your decisions, trust your instincts, and move forward with purpose. Gaslighters know this. If they can chip away at your confidence, they can gain control over you. This isn't just an attack on your self-esteem. It's a calculated theft of your belief in yourself. It starts small, with seemingly harmless comments like, "Are you sure about that?" Or, "You're always so emotional over little things." At first, you might shrug it off, but the repetition is deliberate. Over time, these remarks aren't just about individual moments. They're about you as a person. Suddenly, your decisions, feelings, and even your identity are under scrutiny. The real damage comes when their voice begins to replace your own. You start second-guessing everything. The confidence thief has succeeded when you no longer trust yourself without their validation, or worse, their permission. To reclaim your confidence, start by noticing patterns. Pay attention to how often they question your abilities or diminish your achievements. Once you see it, you can stop internalizing it. Their words reflect their insecurities, not your reality. Rebuild your confidence through small, intentional actions. Make decisions without seeking their input, and celebrate those choices. Creating chaos, confusion as a control mechanism. Gaslighters thrive in confusion because chaos keeps you vulnerable, reactive, and dependent on their narrative. The more uncertain you feel, the easier it is for them to step in as the supposed voice of reason. This tactic isn't about random disorder, it's intentional. They manipulate through contradiction, half-truths, and selective memory. One day, they praise your judgment, and the next, they criticize it harshly. The goal is to destabilize you, to keep you guessing, so they can maintain control. This tactic works because humans crave clarity. When someone deliberately disrupts that clarity, it creates cognitive dissonance, the tension between what you know to be true and what they insist is real. To break free, start by grounding yourself. Keep a written record of important conversations and events. Trust your intuition. If something feels off, don't dismiss it. Create calm spaces outside the chaos, and spend time with people who value honesty. Finally, avoid engaging in their games. Step back and say, "This conversation isn't productive right now. Let's revisit it later." the illusion of choice, making you think it's all your fault. Gaslighters create the illusion of choice, subtly framing situations so that no matter what you choose, you're left feeling responsible for everything that goes wrong. They might present options like, "You can go ahead with that idea, but don't come crying to me when it fails." On the surface, it seems like you have a say, but in reality, the framing ensures any choice you make is accompanied by guilt or consequences. To dismantle this illusion, reflect on your decisions. Were you pressured, or did you make the choice based on your values? Recognize the patterns in how they frame situations. Do they always set you up to fail or feel guilty? When they try to make you feel responsible, assert your agency. Remind them that you own your decisions regardless of their predicted failure.